Welcome to my lounge. Look, I'm using the little V3 from Jack Vapor. I dug these out yesterday. I was going somewhere where I had no handbag. I just popped this in my pocket. I only needed it for a short while, and I realized how absolutely useful these are. It has a cartomiser on the end and not an atomizer in a cartridge. And at the end of it, it has a little disc. Do you see that? Where it joins on to the battery. The little disc at the end of every cartomiser is quite important. That is the disc at the end of the fat, rounder cart that fits on to the Elegance. I found when I tried to fit this onto the Vigo, it wouldn't connect. It wouldn't make vapor. But the trick is to lift that little disc gently. The little disc at the end, I just pop my nail in because I've got long nails. And I just lift that little disc gently. You only have to do it once. And if you lift it gently, pull it out slightly, it will connect. So that is how to make a cartomiser if it's not connecting with the power in any device. That just is a little trick to make it work. So all my cartomizers now work in all my devices. And what I've got is the V3, I've got the Elegance, and I've got the Vigo. Now the Vigo, I use the short cartomiser on it. The long cart makes it slightly longer, and I actually don't like this blue light at the end. I sort of feel like Rudolph the blue-nosed reindeer when I draw on this. Everything's good about it. The vapor's nice. On some carts the flavor is nice, but the blue light is very obvious, and if you suddenly light up while you're out, all eyes turn to you while you're shining. So I cover that, and that makes it shorter if I use the shorter carts. Also, I find on the longer carts, if it's filled with my favorite cream or lemon meringue pie, the extra power in the heavier battery of the Vigo seems to do something, degrade the flavor in my cartomiser. I don't know what it is or why it does that. So the small cart, if I vape this, which is full of cream, either on my V3 or my Elegance, there's a slightly different flavor. It tastes better on the other two devices than it does on the Vigo. And I'm not sure why it would happen. Maybe it's a hotter burn or something, and it does something to the delicate flavor of the e-juice in the cartomiser. I'm not sure. I'm testing out this camera. This is my original old Kodak, and it's a wonderful camera, but it will stop filming in mid-film. I can be talking like this and then find after 10 minutes or so it's not filmed a word. It suddenly stops in the middle of filming something. Whether I'm using it to film my dogs or flowers or whatever, it makes no noise, it does not indicate, and all of a sudden it's not filming. So you often miss the very best parts that you thought you'd captured on video. It's the most unreliable thing, and I've had it in chunks. It only started misbehaving when I updated the drivers in it. So this morning I've popped around with it for quite a long time. I've reprogrammed it, I've updated the drivers again, I've done all sorts of things to it, and this is a test run. I'm hoping that it would actually film at least one of these, because to make one with this camera is a ordeal all the time, I find myself talking to nothing. And then I'll have videoed 2 seconds, and then I have to do it again and set it up. Of course, I'm sitting in front of this camera. I'm not behind it, so I can't see if I'm in the center of the screen, or whether I'm leaning over to one side, or whether I'm smiling, or whether my hair is neat. So it's got lots of drawbacks, but the quality, of course, is better than what I'm getting on my computers. So I'm really hoping this works. Yesterday I had a tea party. There were 3 of us vaping. I've never been with anybody who vapes except my sister. And then, of course, she's complaining about it all the time. But yesterday was very pleasant. We 3 sat in my lounge and we vaped, all on smaller devices. I thought my lounge would be full of vapor, you know, like the fog in a theatre. But it didn't happen like that at all. And I realized that when I go out with a smallish device, and if you're a vapor that doesn't have to produce cloud of vapor all around you, then nobody's really going to notice much. If you're going to use this device with a great ruddy blue light on the end, somebody's probably going to notice you vaping. But if you're using a smallish device and you don't produce loads of vapor, it's not something that will really draw a huge amount of attention to you. So I'm going to be less frightened when I go out simply to vape, and I'm going to vape, and the more people know about vaping, the better. So this is a plea. Remember your small devices. They are very useful, and they probably still work very well. And I think sometimes you get a better flavor from a more gentle battery than you do with a very heavy battery that might reduce and interfere with the delicacy of the flavor that you're vaping. I don't know. I'm new. Thanks for vaping with me.